and then you took him.
Vanessa, I ain't...
Just tell me where the he is.
Vanessa, I ain't do shit.
Yes, you did, just like you did the fucking high post.
High Post. Post is the one who really got her in the game. Post will be dead in a year. Someone lit his ass on fire for telling.
A few weeks ago, I made a video on the history of rock. I went through the backstory in regards to what we know at the time, which was post episode 302, involving High Post, DEF CON, and also some theories around potential moves Rock could have made against Marvin and Davina. So I thought it's time for a bit of an update, especially because High Post was mentioned yet again, something I did briefly touch on in my breakdown for episode 6. And I do feel ever so slowly they are beginning to reveal more of Rock's hidden truth, hence the title. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the High Post truth, but we're going to take a different approach compared to the last breakdown, where we went through Rock's history. This time around, we're going to take a look at how and why Rock is up there as one of the worst mothers in the Power universe, the implications of her lying, what else could be revealed, but more so how it could affect her relationship with Marvin, Lou, and Jukebox in Raising Kanan, Season 3. Now, sometimes we all have similar opinions about characters on Power, and then there are moments where we have different opinions, and this is one which will probably split a few. Has Rock cemented her place as the worst mother in the Power universe, or does that crown still remain with Monet, or would you give it to another? We've seen a lot of foul moves being made over the last 10 years across Ghost, Raising Kanan, and OG Power. Learning a bit more about High Post and Rock putting a gun in Kanan's backpack is the most recent, although it's not to say that some parents haven't been good, because there have been some good moments where some have just tried to do the best by their kids, by keeping them away from a life they know only ends in death or jail. We can also say every single mother does love their kids, and some have had to make the difficult decisions because others decided to choose the street life. For example, when Monet finally opened up to Diana. Now, having said that, I do think it's probably safe to say that the bad do actually outweigh the good. We've seen a lot of manipulation, lies, and even murder over the years, whether it's to protect their kids, to remain in control, or to protect their secrets. Monet lied about her eldest son Zeke, killed his father Mecca, and she also had Lorenzo killed by her son's boyfriend, all while playing happy families. Let's also not forget how she manipulated the whole situation post Lorenzo's death. She pinned it on Kai and Gordo to make sure all her loose ends were dealt with, all while keeping her own hands clean. Now, if we wanted to, we can go even deeper in terms of her manipulation, control, and abuse, but once Raising Kanan does finish and we're on a bit of a break before Go Season 4, I definitely will be breaking it down in a bit more detail. But in regards to mothers, we've also got Kate, who is a junkie, with Tommy suffering a lot of abandonment as a child. This relationship was also very toxic for a number of years, although that did change for a brief period on Force. And I would also say Kate has been right about a lot of things, especially when it came to Holly, Teresi, and Lakeisha. With Tasha, I do think she meant well for Tariq, but a lot of it was a domino effect from her not loving James St. Patrick, but loving Ghost the drug dealer. Although with Tariq, there were a lot of external factors at play, just like him rebelling against his parents. Ghost's affair with Angela played a huge role, and then there was Kanan's manipulation. Now, I also have to give a very quick special mention to another mother in the Power universe many may have forgotten, Palomar, who, let's not forget, slept with her own daughter's boyfriend. So this brings us on to Raquel Thomas, Southside's very own queenpin in the 90s. She clearly loves her family and she loves Kanan. Just like the rest of the mothers we've spoken about, they all love their kids, but she is very selfish, power hungry, manipulative, and very controlling at the same time. She lied to her son about who his father was, put a gun in his hand to try and kill that father, who only happens to be a cop, all while she made sure she had an airtight alibi. Now, not only did Howard survive, but eventually this domino effect we spoke about earlier also resulted in the death of Detective Burke, who was only trying to do her job. She also lied to Kanan over and over again when she had so many moments where she could have come clean, and had she done so, I do think she would have stood a chance in repairing this relationship. Let's also not forget how she had his best friend D-Wiz killed. The same goes for Scrappy, and then there was her planting a gun in her own son's backpack in a very hopeful move to bring Kanan back home, which she thought would have helped build their relationship back up. But unfortunately, it's only made it worse, not just for her and Kanan, but also for Famous. She's also made moves to take bulletproof records from Lou, and I do think she was trying to control Duke in a way where she was trying to say, stay clear of your moms in Season 2, and that's a point I'm going to come back to later on, so just hold that thought. Now, it does take a real cold-hearted and evil character to do some of the things we've seen Monet and Rock do in Power, but the tipping point for me and why Rock slightly edges Monet is how she put a gun in her own son's hand and manipulated him to try and kill his own father. She may be a chess player, she may be good at what she does in regards to the street game, but sending her own son to kill Detective Howard, who only happens to be his father and a cop, which also put Kanan in harm's way, Now that is just a different level of manipulation, cold-heartedness, ruthlessness, and the list can go on. But look, I mentioned at the start of this chapter, I know this will split a few opinions. I know what Monet's done is also horrendous, and I wouldn't blame you if you had a different opinion to mine, because that's what power does, it definitely splits opinions. Now you may even think Tasha is the worst, who knows, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section. In my opinion, I personally feel it's between two, Monet and Rock, with Rock just edging first place in my opinion. Now the reason why I wanted to take a different approach to this breakdown in terms of Rock's hidden truth is because of another common theme that we have seen across the Power universe, parents lying to their kids. It only ever ends in one way, and I'm just going to play you something Lorenzo warned Monet of in Go Season 3.
They're gonna figure it out. And when they do, those kids are never gonna forgive you.
Now, Kanan already knows that Rock is a liar, he's already turned on her, and I think their relationship has already gotten to that stage where it's unrepairable in my opinion. But what about the rest? At this moment in time, her relationship with Lou is broken. He wants nothing to do with his older sister because of what she's made him do in the past, and because of where he finds himself, he puts a lot of blame on his sister. I also think it's worth pointing out he's the only member of the Thomas family that doesn't know Howard is Kanan's father, and I do wonder if he'll ever find out, because if he does, along with the rest of Rock's secrets, he can tell Marvin, "I told you so." With Marvin, they have had a bit of a turbulent relationship, but he's now Rock's go-to. In 301 she told him about how Howard is Kanan's father, but only because Kanan spilt it during their sit-down, otherwise there is no chance she would have opened up about her past. Now Marvin is loyal, he always has been. He may make some silly decisions at times, more so in seasons 1 and 2, but he is family first. Just like he said in season 1, never give up on family. However, what happens if Marvin learns that Rock was actually a CI back in the day for Detective Howard? All the other shit that she's done, along with potentially setting him up to go to prison.
Marvin, you ever think that maybe if you kept better secrets back in the day, you wouldn't have done that whole bid in Elmira? I got set up.
I was set up with the words of Marvin, so when everybody finds out Rock was a CI back in the day, because that day is definitely coming at some point in the future, or how she was behind High Post being burned alive, I think Marvin will start to question, did she send him to prison to take over the operation? Is Rock the reason why I ended up doing a bid in Elmira and also missed out on these crucial years with Duke when she was a kid? Because if that is the case, then Marvin will definitely be pissed. Eventually you have to think the truth will come out, and even though Marvin is loyal to his family, everybody has a breaking point. So blood may be thicker than water, but where do you kind of draw the line? So could this actually be Marvin's point of no return with Rock?
She's been living in New York for a minute. But she never thought to come find you. Just because you blood with somebody don't mean they deserve to be in your life.
Now over to Rock's relationship with Jukebox. These two have a special kind of close bond and relationship, because when Marvin did his bid in Elmira, Duke moved in with Aunt Rock. However, I do get the feeling with the way Rock was behaving around Duke spending time with Kenya in season 2, she wasn't exactly happy that Kenya was back in the picture. So I do wonder, did Rock have anything to do with Kenya disappearing back in the day and never returning? Could Rock have scared Kenya off so she could have control over her family? I genuinely don't think it's beyond reasonable doubt to think that, especially because I can see Duke turning on Rock as well, but she needs a reason to. So learning the truth about Kenya, why she left Marvin and Duke, along with maybe Rock being the downfall of Marvin, that could potentially be the breaking point for Jukebox. So I do think Panessa saying what she said about High Post in 306 is a glimpse and a foreshadow into the future that we are going to learn more, but not just as the audience. Marvin, Lou, Jukebox and Kanan, they're all going to start to learn about what Rock's done in the past, and just like Lorenzo told Monet, when they do, they are never going to forgive her. I think that's going to be the turning point where they all turn, just like Monet's kids turn on her in Ghost. One by one, ever so slowly, she's going to lose every single one of them until she finds herself on her own, and when she does, she's only going to have herself to blame. Now when and if that happens, is it game over for Rock? Maybe not. Again, just have a look at how Monet was able to gain control over her family after she was exposed. Although with Rock, I do find it hard to see how she can control everybody in the future, because Kanan's got his mind of his own, as well as being poisoned by Ronnie. Lou's also done with her shit. It's just when will Marvin and Duke reach their breaking point? That's the question. And will it be because Rock made shady moves to send Marvin to prison, and the Kenya situation for Duke? So that's a breakdown of Rock's hidden truth, and how her past will eventually be a downfall when it comes to losing every single one of the Thomas family members. Not in season 3, maybe not even in season 4, but gradually over the series when the truth does come out about her past. So with that being said, drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and let me know how you see this playing out for Rock and her hidden secrets. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.